President Pines.
Good evening, Terps. Oh, come on. Good evening, Terps. All right. Thank you, Bob. Welcome, everyone, to tonight's night of doing good. You know, every big change in our world starts small. Maybe it's a new idea that first takes root in a classroom conversation. Maybe it's a new plan that springs from a late-night brainstorming session inside of someone's residence hall room. Or maybe it's a new dream that starts under the stars while taking a walk around McKeldin Mall. But the key thing is to make sure that passion turns into purpose, and that purpose turns into a movement. And because of Do Good, we have seen it happen again and again and again on this campus. From Terps Against Hunger and Students Helping Honduras, to Roots Africa, and the Second Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III Foundation. Our students have shown time and time again that they do not just wish for a better world, they roll up their sleeves and they get it done. Yes, they get it done. Tonight is another opportunity to see how the Do Good Institute and our Do Good campus have empowered students across every school and college to take bold action and drive real change for real people. Just by making it to this stage tonight, these students have already made a big difference. But with your support, I know that they can go even further. So remember, you are all a key part of this movement tonight, tomorrow, and in the days ahead. If we are truly to take on the grand challenges of our time and create a world that we all want to see, we must keep making it possible for Terps to do good, to do good, to do good now, to do good here, and to do good everywhere and in the future. So thank you again, and let's go Terps!
All right, how about another round of applause for President Pines? Woo! Thank you so much, President Pines, for your commitment to Do Good. I want to also thank Provost Rice and Dean Orr for your incredible leadership of our Do Good efforts. And in his final year, I want to thank Dean Orr for his 11 years growing and supporting Do Good. Woo! I also want to thank the company that has been the lead sponsor of the Do Good Challenge for 12 years running. Please give a round of applause to Morgan Stanley Private Wealth Management. And one of our great partnerships and really invaluable relationships that was built about a decade ago when they heard about a Do Good Challenge and has transformed our Do Good efforts is the Rothschild Foundation. Please give a round of applause for the Rothschild Foundation. And we are also thankful for two other sponsors. One, the Equitable Foundation, which has sponsored us for the second year in a row. And there's an alum here, alumna Chelsea Brown, who was, oh yeah, look at that. I mean, I haven't even got done with my recognition yet. Chelsea was so inspired by the Do Good Challenge as a student that she founded an organization that is now a sponsor of the Do Good Challenge. Let's hear it for the Black Mill. Woo! And since 2012, we've had exquisite photos by the one group that if you're looking for photography, you should look no further than Freed Photography. How about a round of applause for Freed Photography? And all the impact you're going to see tonight, and the reason why thousands of students every year are out changing the world for good, is thanks to the visionary leadership and partnership of the Karen and Bruce Levinson Foundation. Let's hear it for Bruce and Karen Levinson Foundation. Woo! And since we got started with the challenge, we've continued to add programs and supports to help students make an impact in the world. And these programs get results. Just as one example, for the third year in a row, the UMD Alumni Association's Outstanding Young Alumnus was a former Do Good Challenge champion. Woo! That's right. And in the 2024 Alumni Awards, two Do Good Challenge champions were recognized. One, Hungry Harvest for saving over 27 pounds of food from going to waste, and the Adelia Community Response Team that provided 3.7 million meals in the first 9 months of the pandemic. And this year, the Do Good Institute has experienced an exponential increase in interest, participation, and impact. Let me just give you a few examples. We had a record-breaking number of students apply for our Do Good mini grants, and we funded over 50 student teams representing 10 schools and colleges and engaging over 2,500 students across campus. I wasn't expecting applause for all those, but yes. We implemented Do Good curriculum in how to start thinking about making a social impact in over 100 courses across campus that engaged over 3,000 freshmen and sophomores in thinking about how they want to do good. And this spring, we received 6,000 applications for our Impact Interns program, twice the record we broke last year. And this summer, we're going to be putting more students in paid social impact organizations than ever before. And, and thanks to many of the Do Good Campus Council members who are here, we had an incredible success for our second Do Good Campus Fund, where we received over 100 proposals, and we funded 22 projects led by faculty, staff, and students representing 11 schools and colleges. And tonight, on this stage, you're going to see numerous Do Good Accelerator Fellows. And the Do Good Accelerator program has never been more popular, and we're really grateful to the Gold Public Health Fellows for growing our Do Good Accelerator experience. And finally, this school year, we had the completion of Do Good Plaza with its iconic rings, Do Good sculpture, and the Student Change the World exhibit right inside Thurgood Marshall Hall. Already, over 27,000 people have visited Do Good Plaza during campus tours. And tonight, in a moment, we're going to share an exciting video about the Do Good Plaza. And later, you're going to get to hear two of the stories, new stories, from the Students Change the World exhibit. So let's get started.
Hey guys, welcome to the Do Good Institute here at the University of Maryland.
It all started with a Post-it note.
By the end of our first year, we had about 100 student volunteers.
This is where I learned the power of community, the power of belonging.
The idea of doing good is embedded here at UMD.
I grew up in Nairobi, Kenya, where I really got to see firsthand the impact of environmental degradation and the intersection between human well-being and conservation of nature. And so I knew I wanted to be part of the solution.
It was really exciting to see how students took the tools that we gave them and sort of shaped them to fit their own daily schedules and lives.
When I see students that are continuing to further our mission of care, it really brings me a great sense of joy to know that Spark is still alive, Spark is still thriving, Spark is here to stay.
A small freshman idea to change the world is truly confidence building. It's encouraging, and for them to believe in us, for them to think that we can do it, gives you this launching pad that you may not find in other places.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome again. I'm Sarah Yousefnejad Gallagher, Associate Director for the Do Good Institute. This is my favorite event of the year. It's no secret. I say this all the time, and I promised I wouldn't gush about the reception and getting to see everyone, but getting to connect with friends, campus partners, alums, It makes the evening all the more meaningful. I really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you for being part of our community. For those who are new this year, you're in for an evening of inspiration and impact. Terps are incredible, and soon you'll see why. We have a packed program ahead, so let me quickly share how the evening will work, and I'll highlight a few exciting changes this year, and you don't have to clap after everything like you did for Bob. I was trying to spare you, but first, our 6 finalist teams will have 5 minutes to share the impact they've created, followed by a few minutes of Q&A with our panel of expert judges. We'll also hear from 2 top semifinalist teams giving a lightning pitch and play a trivia game. Our judges will decide which finalist teams take home first, second, and third place prize in each track. And of note, we have doubled prize funds this year, so the finalists who are pitching on stage are competing for their share of $40,000. You can clap a little bit for that. That was the last one, I promise. I'm just messing with you now. Our judges aren't the only ones handing out prizes. You will get a chance at the end of the evening to vote for your favorite finalist team and your favorite semifinalist team doing a lightning pitch, and these teams will take home additional cash prizes. This year, we've also reimagined the 2 competition tracks. The Founders track is for competitors who are the original creators of their organization, project, or venture. And the Leaders track is for competitors in leadership or decision-making roles, such as president or director. This includes campus chapters and student organizations. We'll get things started with our Founders track finalists, and then we'll hear from Leaders track teams. Our Founders track finalists tonight are Black Stars Wellness, Dare to Dream, and the Movement Street. Let's get started with the Founders track.
Please welcome this year's Founders Track judges, Sagar Doshi, Strategy and Operations Manager for Deloitte Consulting and 2014 Do Good Challenge winner, Michelle Gilliard, Principal Consultant for Michelle Gilliard and Associates, LLC, and Cedric Narfor, Chief Executive Officer of Roots Africa and 2021 Do Good Challenge winner. Welcome to the stage, Black Stars Wellness.
I experienced my first tragedy training emergency as a result of when I was 6 years old. 3 of my friends went swimming in a lagoon, and only 2 made it back. Kojo had to be pulled out of the lagoon, and anyone around could not even perform CPR. He had to be driven to the hospital. Unfortunately, Kojo never made it to the hospital. I am Ebenezer Kobna-Mensah, chairman of the Black Star Awareness Initiative. I am a PhD candidate in the College of Education, passionate about teaching, putting smiles on people's faces, saving lives, and moving my country, Ghana, forward. By show of hands, who in here knows first aid or CPR? All right. Imagine yourself in a country called Ghana, where less than 1% of the population knows first aid or CPR. You are at work, eating lunch, and all of a sudden you started choking on a grape. You look around at your co-workers, but they don't know what to do. In a panic, they drive you to a hospital 30 minutes away. Now, I want you all to close your eyes. In this car, you are floating in and out of consciousness until everything goes black. You stop breathing, you stop responding, then you go into cardiac arrest. Now open your eyes. This may not be your life, but this is the life of over 30 million Ghanaians. Cardiovascular disease is the cause of 4 out of 5 deaths in developing countries, including Ghana. In Africa, it is estimated that cardiovascular disease will overtake infectious disease as the leading cause of death on the continent within the next 5 years. Ghana is projected to have an exponential growth in population, economic, and social lifestyle over the next 10 years. But along this development, it is also expected to have increased rate of cardiovascular diseases, car accidents, and other emergency situations. According to Ghana statistics, cardiovascular disease is already the leading cause of death, accounting for 60% of deaths among adults in Ghana. Thus, the time for action is now. This is why the mission of Black Star Wellness Initiative is to strive to integrate critical life-saving skills into the foundation of every community in Ghana. Each summer, we travel to Ghana to train 1,000 people in first aid and CPR, train 10 to 30 instructors, and establish at least 2 training centers. According to our pre- and post-test surveys, we found a 50% increase in knowledge gain, and 99% of our participants demonstrate their skills to the Ghana Red Cross standard. Over 2,500 have been certified in first aid, including caring for choking, chest compression and ventilation, life-threatening bleeding in our 4 training centers. Based on our survey of trainees, at least 9 lives are saved every 6 months, with over 47 lives saved since summer 2023. The 9 faces you see on this screen represents the actual event of 9 lives saved as a result of our first summer program since 2023. A life saved is a life gained. Sustainability is also very important to us. That is why we've established 4 training centers staffed by Ghanaian citizens who continue to teach critical life-saving skills year-round. In this photo is our partner organization, the Institute for Educational Planning and Administration at the University of Cape Coast, provides us the ability to continue to provide training across the country. If awarded $10,000, we will purchase $6,000 in supplies and equipment and use $4,000 to pay our Ghanaian instructors, which is enough to cover the establishment of 2 additional training centers, bringing us to a total of 6 centers. With 6 centers, by next year, we will be able to train additional 12,000 people, which is enough people to fill a basketball stadium, enabling us to even save more lives. This time, imagine that you were just certified in one of our newly established training centers. You are at work and your coworker is bleeding profusely on the head. You apply direct pressure to control the bleeding and drive them to the hospital. Upon arrival, the nurse tells you, if it wasn't for you begin to heal the wound, our medicine would not have saved them. This is what Black Star Wellness Initiative looks like. You must heal the wound before it ignores the medicine. These are our sponsors and partners who have been with us since 2023. Medasi.
Thank you so much, and kudos for going first. As a former challenge participant, I know it's a lot of nerves, so congratulations. Now it's done. Ebenezer, question for you. You mentioned a lot of these volunteers from that are mostly citizens of Ghana. I'm curious, what is the recruitment effort or the pitch effort where you're trying to actually say, hey, there's clearly a big problem here. We want to teach CPR. How do you get these volunteers to maybe come out to these info sessions and learn more and actually sign up to learn CPR?
Yeah, thank you for this question. The first thing has to do with commitment and the need to save lives. So as Amid mentioned, Africa is sitting on a time bomb according to World Heart Federation. So whatever that we are pitching about what is currently happening. For instance, Galamsey, which is illegal mining, is polluting Ghanaian water bodies, and a lot of illness as a result of people dying. So people are ready to save lives. One, that is the commitment. And then also the initiative was also of giving our instructors some stipends, which I believe some of the youth are not having work. As a result, provides an employment avenue for them to keep up to the current economic status.
Thank you again for a wonderful presentation and a moving and powerful problem that you're working to solve, and it looks like you're making great progress. The question I have for you is about scaling. So as you scale, what's the most important input that needs to be delivered at a very high quality, and how do you maintain the quality?
Great. So our program is structured in such a way that we have key performance indicators that we keep track of all the performances, all the trend. That is why every 6 months we conduct trainee surveys. And then also before each training, we do have pre- and post-test surveys, which is kind of different. As a result, we also connect with other partners whereby they support us with their service as a result of how they are utilizing these trainings that we have been providing for them. And then in addition to that, the training centers that we do have kind of also link up to other organizations which are in the same work. But then we kind of compare it with the value proposition that we have that makes us stand ahead of the others.
Thank you.
The first thing, I think one thing that I know is challenging is the emergency system in the continent. When he talks about picking up somebody, you're picking them in regular cars, this is not 911. So that's a critical part that folks may not understand. The other piece that I would like to hear from you is how many people do you have on the ground in Ghana that are actually working for you versus the volunteers?
Great, thank you. So currently we do have 50 instructors. So the 50 instructors, we have 10 in Cape Coast, 10 in Adan, 10 in Elmina, and then 20 in Accra.
Okay. And are these full-time employees? Are they part-time? What kind of role?
Okay, for now, our structure is much more of a full-time because we don't do it daily, but we do it like every week or at least every 2 weeks, they will have some training. So it's much more of a part-time, but then we've signed contracts with them that they are working with us for the next 3 years, which means it's much more of a contract base.
Okay, thank you. No more questions?
I have another question if there's time. So I saw in the photos some children being trained, and I'm just wondering, in terms of who you're training, can you talk about the population and the different groups of people within the population you're training?
Great. So for the population, we are looking at all, but then our focus now has to do with the foundation. Remember, when the foundation is weak, the head is weak as well. So children, female, and then adults who are vulnerable, especially those in deprived communities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, Dare to Dream.
You know what we don't talk about enough? The amount of people that are quietly unfulfilled. Right now, we are facing a crisis, and it's not just economic or political, it's existential. We are living in a passion deficit, where 80% of people are not passionate about their jobs, 40% are burnt out, and globally we are losing over $8.8 trillion due to a lack of productivity. We focus so much on career paths that we don't spend enough time talking about building our lives around passion, purpose, or joy. Telling young people to get a degree and land a stable job, but what happens next? They graduate into debt, working a job that they don't care about until they can retire at the age of 67. We can't continue to push young people down this cycle. So we decided to create something radically different, to show young people that passion, purpose, and prosperity can coexist. Hi, my name is Takaya, and I'm the founder and executive director of Dare to Dream. We've built Dare to Dream for those whose wings were clipped before they had the chance to fly. The third grader like me, selling rubber band bracelets, getting in trouble instead of mentored, or the teen working 2 jobs, never told that they could dream beyond survival. We serve those that have been dismissed: Black and brown youth, disabled students, queer teens, and first-generation leaders. And we do that through 3 pillars: education that builds, social capital that opens doors, and funding that fuels the dream. For education, we make sure that we meet students where they are, whether it's a workshop or a summer camp, but at the center of it is our 12-week Dream Chaser Academy, where our curriculum takes youth through a journey of creating a lemonade stand to learning about their passions and turning that into a real business. For social capital, we're focused on sparking real-world connections through mentorship, community building events, and our podcast, Keep Your Head in the Clouds, where we have real conversations about building careers around the things that we love. And for funding, we put equity at the center. Talent is everywhere, but access to capital is not. So we make sure that every student in our program receives non-dilutive funding to take their dreams to the next level. In just 2.5 years, we have already impacted over 500 students through 10 paid programs where we have a 98% success rate of launching youth passion-driven businesses. And the best part is, we don't charge students or their families for our programs. Youth-serving organizations pay us to bring the Dare to Dream experience to their communities. In just 2.5 years, we have generated over $100,000 in revenue. We have hosted 6 community building events called Small Artists, Big Talent, where we've brought out thousands of people to celebrate the intersection of art, entrepreneurship, and community, creating a platform for over 60 businesses and 45 artists. We've been able to directly fund over 25 student ventures because we know that when we invest in youth the right way, they fly. Take it from Kamari, who made her first $500 in our program, and yesterday she told me that she is $60 away from reaching her $1,000 goal. Sorry, I'm so proud of her. I literally wrote the check yesterday. She's working on putting the finishing touches on her website, or OB. Who was a vendor at our most recent Small Artist Big Talent event, and in just 4 hours, he was able to pay his rent. And lastly, Ja, who is a current student in our program, using his funding to launch a brand where he is turning thrifted clothes into custom pieces, and he's already made his first sale in just days of launching his business. We will use the Do Good prize money, first place prize, the $10,000. We will use the $6,000 to standardize our curriculum, allowing us to train more instructors, which will allow us to scale into over 50 schools and impact a minimum of 1,500 students. We will also be launching new services in our media and tech tracks, allowing us to generate over $480,000 in revenue. We will use $2,000 to continue to expand our community building events, such as Small Artists, Big Talent, taking that on an East Coast tour, allowing us to impact over 100 vendors and 80 performers, and we will be piloting a wealth building summit. We will use the last $2,000 for professional development, allowing our team to raise a $50,000 dream fund, giving our alumni and our current student access to more funding. This will allow us to impact over 160 student ventures. At Dare to Dream, we are showing the next generation that they don't have to wait to build a life that they love. They can build it now. So I'll leave you with one question.
Do you dare to dream? We dare to dream.
Thank you.
I want to start by thanking you for sharing your presentation and to letting us see the emotion that you have for what you've created. The power of community is transformational, and you've exemplified that in a beautiful way. So don't leave the stage feeling embarrassed. We were all there with you, and just know that we really appreciate you sharing yourself with us. The question I have is around scaling. So as you think about the biggest challenge that you have to overcome, what is that and how do you tend to address it?
Right now is the speed in which we're growing. On Friday, we actually hit $112K in revenue for just this year. So with that, it's how do we continue to meet that demand? So this summer, we will be having a training program so we can actually have more instructors. And summer is also our peak sales season. So we will have a better sense of direction of what areas will want our program and how many instructors we need to have for each area.
You really, incredible presentation.
Thank you.
Curious about, can you talk a little bit about your revenue streams? Like where do the funding come from?
Yes. So we've been completely funded by my pockets and our program and just like selling programs. So our average program is sold at $12,000, And we sell those to youth-serving organizations. Right now, that looks like schools, and we will be expanding into boys and girls clubs and libraries by the end of this year. And that's pretty much how our sales work. We also have flexible programming where we do workshops. Those are normally priced at $2,500. And our largest contract that we have had was for $39,000.
Awesome. So these partnerships will go a long way, right?
Yes, and then all of our customers come back for more. So we do have a 100% return rate of our customers actually coming back for more programming.
Okay, for those that are here, talk to her. Okay.
Awesome, thank you. I think I had a question regarding, we talked about that education bucket, and you talked about scaling from a certain amount of schools to more schools. Just curious, what's your criteria for identifying these schools in K through 12 that you're partnering with? As I'm sure you have a lot of students that might be interested in business. Eventually you have to pick, we're gonna go with this school in this county. Just curious what your criteria is.
Great question. So we actually have a data analyst on our team that helps us really think about how we make these data-driven decisions on the schools that we do target. And then we run an outbound sales strategy that allows us to sell to those schools. We do that via email, just sending out various cold emails to the schools. And it's kind of like, if this school wants us to be there, we're gonna figure out how to get our program into that school.
Thank you.
Of course.
Quick question. When the schools accept, what are they trying to accomplish?
Can you reword that for me?
When the schools accept what you're selling to them, what are they trying to accomplish?
The first thing is chronic absenteeism. So a lot of our students are just not coming to school. And that's a 25% rate of students being chronically absent. So that's the first aspect. The second is that the students are actually learning how to generate wealth at a young age and doing it through something that they love. So they don't have to wait until they get to college or become an adult to learn how to make money. It's creating that economic mobility now.
Are you tracking any educational outcomes as a result of this by the partnerships that you have with the school?
We are beginning to track that now, and our data analyst is going to help us collect those metrics.
And have you decided which measures you're going to actually track? Like, is it going to be GPA? Is it going to be attendance? Do you have any idea?
Great question. The biggest thing right now is going to be grades. We've actually discovered that some of our students cannot read, so we will be doing a reading camp this summer to help our students learn how to read and do math, but those will be some of the metrics that we begin to track. Right now, we also track professional development, how they learn how to shake a hand, and just teach and perform in general.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, the Movement Street.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lyric Amodia, and I serve as the proud founder and executive director of the Movement Street. At the Movement Street, we believe volunteerism should be powerful, accessible, and enjoyable. But right now, it's not reaching enough people. Please raise your hand if you volunteered at least once this year. Now, if this room were a reflection of America, only 23% of you would have your hands up. This leaves over 240 million Americans not actively participating or volunteering in their communities. However, surveys indicate that 90% of Americans do want to volunteer. This volunteer shortage puts an enormous pressure on local governments and community organizations, making it harder for them to meet critical needs and stifling their ability to create impact. Additionally, those surveyed thought that traditional volunteer opportunities were rigid, outdated, and difficult to access, making it harder for people to get involved and stay involved. The bottom line is, our communities need our support, and volunteers need more accessible ways to serve. And that's where the Movement Street comes in. Our national chapter model seeks to redefine and elevate volunteerism. We offer 3 different monthly volunteer structures. 1, our in-person service. We create high-energy, community-driven experiences like our wellness festivals and networking and skill development series, making volunteering fun and rewarding. 2, our virtual engagement. We know not everyone can show up in person, so we provide remote volunteer opportunities through digital advocacy, mentorship, and event live streams, allowing people to participate beyond their own neighborhoods. And finally, 3, passive volunteerism. We eliminate 2 of the biggest barriers to service, which is time and transportation, by offering service-driven apparel where every purchase directly funds and advocates for a community project. Instead of forcing people to fit into a rigid system, the Movement Street makes service fit into people's lives, ensuring that everyone, no matter their time, location, or resources, has an opportunity to give back effortlessly. Our approach is creative, community-driven, and rooted in sustainability. We offer a dozen different signature volunteer programs, allowing people to take action for whatever issue is closest to them. Two of our cornerstone programs are the Grocery Giveaway and the Creative Classic. The Grocery Giveaway started as emergency water deliveries during the height of the Flint water crisis and has now evolved into an ongoing food and wellness initiative. This program routinely provides fresh groceries and water to over 165 families. The Creative Classic is our annual arts and culture gala that celebrates people living in their purpose. This event features minority entrepreneurs, performances, community champions, scholarship awards, an art exhibition, and much more. This event brings together over 400 guests each year for a night of impact, connection, and creativity, and has raised over $15,000. But our impact doesn't stop with programming. We invest directly back into our people, not only incentivizing our volunteers to return, but making impact a part of their lifestyle. Our volunteers gain access to professional development and career readiness events, many of which double as fundraising opportunities. Our scholarship program empowers young changemakers to explore and access higher education, reinforcing our belief that service should lead to tangible personal growth. The bottom line is we keep our members engaged, enriched, and connected because we know that when people feel supported, they want to give back even more. Since our inception in 2020, we've been able to mobilize and engage over 3,400 volunteers across Flint, Detroit, and the DMV, with an industry-leading 90% volunteer retention rate. We've also been able to facilitate over 845,000 community service hours while partnering with over 12 nonprofits and corporations like the Torch of Wisdom Foundation, the Boys and Girls Club, and DC Prep Academy. Based on a volunteer hour, we've been able to generate over $28 million in economic impact for communities and directly fundraised over $40,000. Shout out to our service-driven apparel. Our volunteers consistently report that serving with the Movement Street has completely shifted their perspective about service, showing them that service transcends boundaries. Winning the Do Good Prize will allow us to invest in 3 key areas: staffing, transportation, and marketing and communication. First, we'll grow our national team of 13 by investing in their recruitment, engagement, and training initiatives. Next, we will be able to support our transportation, eliminating that travel barrier to help get volunteers the resources they need to get to service sites. And finally, investing in our marketing and communication will allow us to expand into new audiences, which will help us grow into more communities and cities. Winning the Do Good Prize will allow us to scale our organization in the next 3 years by helping us grow our retention rate beyond 90%. We will also be able to engage, activate, and mobilize over 2,500 new volunteers, while also scaling to 5 new cities, and this will help us free up funds to triple our scholarship awards and grow our revenue by more than 80%. I want to thank you so much for being here today, and I hope you join the Movement Street in redefining volunteerism nationwide. Thank you.
You're truly speaking my language when you talk about volunteers. I am curious how you leverage data. If you're getting, what insights are you getting that is helping you to tap into these volunteers? Mm-hmm. And vice versa, how do you find the opportunities that are unique for them and that they want to serve?
Thank you for that two-part question. I'm going to answer the first one. So for us to track our volunteer retention rate, we actually have a data team on staff, and they helped with event logs, attendance sheets, post-event, and during the event feedback forms that help us track our volunteer retention rate. And we hope that with this investment, we can find new softwares that can help us do this a lot faster. And then the second part of your question?
So the first part is, how do you find them and how do you find the opportunities that are unique to them that they want to serve, because all volunteers are not equal?
Yes, so a lot of times volunteers find us through word of mouth or social media that will attract them to serve with the Movement Street. But also, we also co-design events with our nonprofit, like the nonprofits we partner with and the corporations that help us attract new volunteers, as well as our marketing efforts that we have now. We've realized that our engagement comes from our relationships, and our team is rooted in creating relationships with community members, because a lot of the communities that we serve are also staff members that are from those areas.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. I love the, as a data guy myself, I love the idea on scale and what it looks like every year, kind of expanding.
Thank you.
I saw the expansion to new cities, and I saw that there's a play here of looking at partnerships. I'm curious, what are the major criteria factors when you're looking at what cities we want to expand to really identify getting from 3 to 5 to 8?
Yes, that's a great question. So a lot of times when we're looking into what communities we would like to grow into, we have our data team and our research team and development team do a community needs assessment. And we also have people who are interested, who are volunteers, who are leaders in our community that come to us and ask to start chapters. So they also have to bring to us what their critical needs are, and is there a high demand for our organization to fill in that gap.
Thank you for the presentation. That was a wonderful explanation of all the exciting things you all are doing.
Thank you.
I'm wanting to know, what is the biggest challenge that you have to overcome, and what's your plan within the next 2 years to address it?
Thank you for this question. I would say our biggest challenge right now is capacity. Our current infrastructure, our impact is outgrowing our current infrastructure, and we want to be able to build our capacity strategically without compromising the quality of work that we deliver. So with this investment, it will really help us grow into new systems that we can create to help service more people. Because right now we have a high demand from communities to host events, to partner, but we don't want to burn out our team.
So when you broke down how you utilize the funds, you talked about how it would generate more revenue for your team. How does it translate, like be it the communication piece, or how does that translate to generating more income for your team?
So a lot of times with staffing, that will help us generate more revenue with helping us streamline, because right now we have a great production team that helps us streamline our service-driven apparel, but more training to teach them how to create products, so it would help us grow our revenue streams. Between our transportation, getting volunteers to service sites just gets more people involved, and more people involved means that they're becoming more invested and either purchase apparel, donate, come back to events, or spread it word of mouth. And then our third one with marketing and communication, we have a huge social media following already, so being able to capitalize off of that and leveraging our technology to be able to grow our revenue stream, because you can also purchase our merchandise online, and we do pop-up shops a lot. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
How about one more round of applause for our Founders Track finalists and judges? Judges, it's time to head back to the deliberation room and decide on who gets first, second, and third place in the Founders Track. In a few minutes, we'll hear from the Leaders Track. The Leaders Track finalists tonight are Bitcamp, Terp Thon, and the UMD chapter of the Food Recovery Network. But before we bring out our Leaders judges and hear from our Leaders finalists, we'll watch a video highlighting 2023 Challenge winner, Camp Kesem.
Kesem is a national nonprofit organization, and we're dedicated to supporting children who have been impacted by a parent or caregiver's cancer.
Our flagship program is a 1-week-long free-of-cost summer camp, and we provide everything from transportation to camp to need-based supplies. If they needed a pillow, if they need a sleeping bag, extra clothes, things like that.
But what makes our camp so special is that we have a unique day that's called Empowerment.
And Empowerment is dedicated to providing a space for our campers to tell us and each other about their experiences with cancer and really just listen to each other too, because their experience that they're going through can be so extremely isolating.
We also do year-round support, whether that's care packages, birthday cards, bereavement support even.
When we won the Do Good Challenge, it meant that we could pull everyone off of our wait list and nobody had to go without KESM for a year.
Since we were founded in 2018, we have raised over $400,000 and supported over 200 campers and their families. We had our first camp in 2018 with about 20 to 30 campers. This past year, in the summer of 2024, we had over 90 campers attend our camp. That means in 6 years, we've tripled the number of campers we've been bringing to our camp. KESM fills this really unique space, and I think that's what makes us really special.
Please welcome this year's Leaders Track judges. Rosie Allen Herring, President and Chief Executive Officer for the United Way of the National Capital Area. Marcy Hunn, Senior Program Director for the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg Foundation. And Khalil Kettering, Executive Director for the Nature Conservancy Maryland, D.C. Chapter and 2014 Do Good Challenge finalist. Welcome to the stage, Bitcamp.
In 2013, a group of UMD students had a dream to create a tech space that wasn't about competition, but rather about collaboration, creativity, and community. They called it Bitcamp. Fast forward 10 years, and today we have the honor of leading Bitcamp into its second decade. My name is Anjali Samavedam.
And my name is Shurvari Tharodkar, and we are the co-executive directors of Bitcamp 2025. Bitcamp isn't just one of the largest collegiate hackathons on the East Coast. It's a hub for learning, innovation, and making technology more accessible to all.
Before we dive in, you might be wondering what exactly is a hackathon. A hackathon is a creative marathon where students come together to build, innovate, and solve real-world problems using hardware and software technologies all in 36 hours. Some arrive with ideas, others come just to learn, but everyone leaves with something new, whether that be a project, a mentor, or a newfound passion for technology. Over the last decade, we're proud to have welcomed over 11,000 students, 1,700 projects, worked with over 100 organizations, and raised over $1 million in funding to provide free mentorship, resources, and opportunities. We pride ourselves on being beginner-friendly, opening the doors to students of all backgrounds.
Unlike traditional hackathons that focus on intense competition, Bitcamp is a space for creativity and community. We work to address 3 key barriers to entry in the tech space: imposter syndrome, gaps in tech education, and high financial costs. To combat imposter syndrome, we create space for connection through community-driven events such as beginner-friendly workshops. To address gaps in tech education, we host a series of tracks focused on specialized areas in tech, such as machine learning, that require no experience. And to address financial costs, Bitcamp is entirely free, with meals, swag, workshops, and travel reimbursements available to hackers. More than half of our students are beginners, and over 70% of them opt in to use our beginner content. And with over 45% of project submissions over the last decade having been submitted by first-time hackers, it's clear that anyone can make an impact.
Bitcamp has always been about breaking barriers to entry in tech, not just for university students. Every year, we welcome dozens of high schoolers, and last year, we welcomed 30 students from Baltimore City for a full-day tech immersion. They toured the EREB Center, attended hands-on workshops, and even built their first-ever tech projects. For many, Bitcamp is their first glimpse into the tech world, showing them that a future in this space is well within reach.
Our students create a wide range of projects that have an impact on the communities around them, with focuses such as social good, sustainability, and philanthropy. Last year, a winning team used AI to create a hands-free alternative to internet browsing for the physically impaired. Another team chose to focus on equity, creating an app to support students with autism and bridging the gap that exists between paraeducator availability and students that need extra support. This commitment to incite social change is shared by our partners. Last year, alongside our co-hosting sponsor Cloudforce, we introduced the Prompt-a-thon Challenge, where we invited students to use AI/ML to support Francis Scott Key Bridge recovery efforts. With free access to Microsoft Azure's cloud computing tools, the winning team created an app to analyze bridge images and guide strategic repairs.
Bitcamp isn't just a weekend, it's a launch pad. Students come in with curiosity and leave with confidence, often building solutions to problems in their own communities. One of my favorite stories is Maya, a high school junior who came to Bitcamp with no prior coding experience and left having built her first ever tech project. Today, inspired by the community she received at Bitcamp, she's pursuing computer science in college with confidence and purpose. And she's one of many, proof that in the right environment, anyone can make an impact.
Another achievement that we're proud to share is receiving the governor's citation. Last year, we hosted Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller, UMD President Pines, and CMNS Dean Varshney at Bitcamp 2024. This recognition not only acknowledges the impact we have on the lives of hundreds of students, but establishes the shared goal between the university and the state government to invest in tech education.
Returning to our roots, Bitcamp founders continue to come back to Bitcamp as mentors, speakers, and sponsors. This past year, they gave back once again by judging their own prize categories and uplifting that same spirit of curiosity and creation that once fueled their journeys over 10 years ago. We're also proud to have welcomed the co-founder and CEO of Major League Hacking, the organization behind over 300 student-led hackathons worldwide. His visit strengthens our ties to a global network and recognizes Bitcamp as a leader in creating impactful, inclusive hackathon culture, a powerful reminder that our reach spans far beyond College Park to major players in the hackathon space.
As we continue to expand on a decade of success, let us outline for you how we would like to take advantage of Do Good funding. Our plan is multifold. First, we'll establish an ecosystem to alleviate travel-based limitations to and from Bitcamp and other area hackathons. We'll invest in our Prince George's County roots, creating opportunities for Bitcamp to engage with over 300 local high school students in and out of Bitcamp weekend.
We'll continue to make tech education resources more accessible on campus. We'll expand our pre-weekend workshop series to build partnerships with more student organizations across UMD to continue making tech education more accessible for students of all backgrounds. And finally, we'll invest in a wider range of software, hardware, and cloud computing technologies to be free for all 1,000 of our hackers every single year. Do Good funding wouldn't just support Bitcamp. It would empower thousands of students to seek a future in technology and help expand our impact beyond UMD.
We live in an age of constantly developing technologies that bring with them the power to change the world. Bitcamp goes beyond just a 36-hour event. It's a launch pad for the next generation of innovators. As we enter our second decade, with your support, we can ensure that no young technologist has an idea that goes unheard, and ensure that everyone, regardless of background, has the chance to use technology to do good.
Thank you all for sharing. This is extremely exciting. So as we think about hackathons, which of course have become somewhat commonplace now, and we think about the role that AI plays and all that we've seen evolve from being something that is considered ChatGPT to now distorting photos to now, sometimes impersonating people in the wrong way. How do you see AI in the future being able to now bring a positive spin to it as a part of the hackathon?
Well, at Bitcamp, we pride ourselves on keeping track with upgrades in technology, and AI is a big place in that. 2 years ago, we established a machine learning track that introduced students to ML and taught them how to use machine learning and AI to do good in the community. We also have a number of prize categories that encourage them to explore the use of AI, such as this year, one of our sponsors hosted a prize category for the use of generative AI in business. Again, just encouraging hackers to take advantage of this artificial intelligence, but use it to do good.
Additionally, we also provide opportunities for our students to gain experience and an understanding of how AI is changing the tech landscape. We're proud to have welcomed Paige Bailey from Google DeepMind, a leader in the Google Gemini space, to talk about the role of LLMs in the future of AI and how we can leverage those tools to do good. And so the overall stakeholders that we have at our event, as well as the ways in which we encourage students to seek out the solutions to problems that they see in the world, we believe is for the positive direction of AI.
Well, thank you for such a wonderful presentation. I was going to ask something about AI because that's the scariest thing, I think, for all of us, but it's exciting. What happens after the hackathon? What happens to the products that are created? How are you measuring, the longer term impact? Are you continuing some of those programs? What are the students doing after?
A lot of our answers to this come from post-event surveys and anecdotes in which we communicate with our sponsors and our hackers just to understand how they elaborate on their projects outside of our weekend. Just last week, I had a chance to talk to a sponsor who's working with 3 students who submitted a project. They had a chance to meet with the Chief Technology Officer of CloudForce, and they have internships lined up for the summer now because of the work that they were doing at Bitcamp.
Absolutely. I also had the privilege of speaking to an individual who submitted a hack a couple years ago, submitted that project that he made at Bitcamp to UMD's hatchery, and that turned into a startup. So projects at Bitcamp really can fuel the fire for someone's tech journey, and that's really exciting to us.
I echo the thanks of the judges up here. And I heard that there's really 2 value propositions out of what you're doing. One is the skills building around tech. But one thing you touched on, which I want to dive into a little bit, is confidence building. And you give someone confidence and they can do anything in any sector. So can you unpack a little bit more about how you're tracking, how you cultivate the confidence building, and how you track that to know that you're actually getting to success?
Yeah, absolutely. Bitcamp was founded on the groundwork of the idea that tech doesn't have to be a competition. It can be something that's collaborative and inherently very creative and fun. As a part of our event, we host a series of different mini-events that encourage hackers to develop a sense of community with those around them, as well as our different sponsors and mentors and volunteers. We also have a series of workshops where students can engage in different kinds of informational materials and really learn things at a beginner-friendly level that will equip them to then build projects and use those skills that they've learned at Bitcamp. To speak about confidence, a lot of the success that we've seen at Bitcamp is through our post-event survey, as well as anecdotes that we hear in speaking with hackers around.
Thank you.
So really quick question. How do you select mentors for the program? What are the qualities that you're looking for?
Well, we have 2 sets of mentors. The first come from our sponsors. They send industry professionals who are experienced to the workplace to support our hackers throughout the weekend. The other set are mentors that fill out a survey and establish what type of technical competencies they have, and then we choose those individuals to help mentor our hackers throughout the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, Terp Thon.
I want everyone to take a minute and think about all of the things you looked forward to as a kid. Was it going to school, celebrating your friend's birthday, or being tucked into your own bed at night by your parents? Well, tonight, at this very moment, just 7 miles away from our campus, there are 287 kids lying in beds at Children's National Hospital. 287 kids who did not get to go to school today, did not get tucked into their own bed tonight, and will not get to celebrate their friend's birthday. Today, 287 kids did not get to be kids. Meet Mariana. Mariana was once one of these kids, and she was born with persistent pulmonary hypertension of a newborn, which means that she did not have enough oxygen reaching her lungs. Children's National's Rapid Helicopter Transport Service, SkyBear, rushed Mariana to the hospital where she would receive life-saving care. Today, thanks to Children's National, Mariana gets to be a kid, and she can be seen dancing her heart out at all of Terp Thon's events surrounded by her Terp family. It is life-saving services like SkyBear that are made possible by Children's National's Fund for Every Child, which is directly supported by Terp Thon. Terp Thon is the largest student-run philanthropy in the state of Maryland, and we raise funds and awareness year-round for Children's National Hospital right in Washington, D.C. Throughout the year, we host numerous events to unite our community in support of our cause. In the fall, we host Fall Fest and Day of Miracles to establish our cause on campus and kickstart fundraising. In the spring, we host Color Wars to recruit participants and engage student teams. To give you a sense of how much potential these kinds of events have, this past year, on a budget of just $200, we were able to fundraise over $26,000 for the patients and families at Children's National. This was done just during our Day of Miracles event, and it's a glimpse into how many events that we can have throughout the year with this level of success. Through all of these events, we bring together student organizations, Greek life, and all members of our College Park community to join together in being this generation fighting for the next. All of our fundraising efforts culminate in our dance marathon each spring. This year, Dance Marathon was an 8-hour event filled with fundraising, student organization performances, and activities with our Miracle Kids, which are past or current patients of the hospital.
In just those 8 hours, Terp Thon was able to bring over 500 participants together to raise over $28,000. As I'm sure you can agree, in a room full of mostly college students on a Saturday night, that's pretty amazing. It shows the potential for our campus to unite in the fight for pediatric health and celebrate being Terps for kids. Since you last saw us in 2018, we have worked with over 450 student teams and 1.2 million participants to raise a grand total of over $2.5 million. 100% of our donations goes directly to Children's National Hospital, whether that's $14 for a meal voucher, $5,000 for pediatric oxygenators, or $50,000 for a portable ultrasound machine. All of that $2.5 million has gone to the kids and families at Children's National. But that leaves our operational budget up to us. On top of our year-round events, we have to apply to countless grants, work concessions, and host special events to cover our operational expenses. $10,000 could mean more events, more incentives, more partnership opportunities, and more time for our internal team to maximize our fundraising for Children's National Hospital. It would mean more funds going directly to the Fund for Every Child, which provides world-class care to every child, regardless of their ability to pay. It provides services like Sky Bear for Mariana, special services like art and music therapy, critical equipment like pediatric oxygenators, and research to find new cures and treatments for childhood's most challenging conditions, which helped save one of our Miracle Kids, Ryan. Ryan was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at just 10 months old and was given a life expectancy of 15. He was entered into a trial for what his family refers to as a miracle drug. He is now a student at our very own University of Maryland, an aspiring bodybuilder, and about to turn 21 years old. Supporting Children's National is crucial now more than ever, with grant cuts threatening countless research programs. Just 6 months ago, at our very own Children's National, Kendrick Cromer, who's only 12 years old, became the first ever patient to receive a gene therapy expected to cure him of sickle cell disease. It is groundbreaking research like this that is in jeopardy. Terp Thon does not just fund direct services, we work to fund cures. Together, we can work to create a future where more kids get the chance to go home tonight.
The time for your support is now, because kids can't wait.
Well, thank you for all you're doing for Children's National. I mean, it's incredible and impressive. Given the work that you're doing, how are you really thinking about scaling this? It seems like it's grown a little bit over the years. Is there kind of a hope or a dream of what this would look like maybe next year and future years to really increase, because the needs are going to increase?
Yeah, the needs are definitely increasing, and I think an area for growth for us is really better engaging our external participants. And like Greek chapters, I know that a lot of other dance marathon programs around the country have been very successful in that way, and so that's something that we really have an opportunity for growth in. Unfortunately, as we said, we were kind of limited on our operational budget, and so we would like to put like $7,000 roughly of the $10,000 prize fund towards new events or enhancing our current events to really engage Greek chapters, whether that is through cornhole tournaments or talent shows or competitions, and also other student organizations to really bring them in, because each of our participants on average per year fundraises $300. So bringing in even 50 more participants is $15,000 more for Children's National. So I think scaling can be really achieved through bringing in and recruiting and engaging external participants.
Building off that question a little bit, so
You said you had $200 and you were able to leverage that for $26K, which is a great multiplier. Who are you raising this money from?
So that event was our Day of Miracles event, which it was just our internal team, which was about 150 students on our campus. Our internal team or our planning team go to plan our events. But we did this through events, our small events on our campus, which we did an Adopt a Duck program, which was our freshmen came up with that idea. It was a new idea we introduced this year. Partnerships opportunities with flower sales, but also just direct asks to family members and social media asks. And this was part of a new fundraising program we adapted, which is a sprint model. So having our internal team, having that fundraising in the fall, and really having them sprint brought us to only take $200 and really skyrocket and show an increase in our fundraising from year to year through that Day of Miracles in less time. So we decreased the time from 48 to 24 and still saw an increase in fundraising.
So if I understand, a lot of your fundraising comes through students that are connected to this. How are you all thinking about expanding this past just students? A lot of people who have kids that resonate with this aren't students anymore, and there's a huge market that you're not tapping into.
I think that taps into like local business partnerships. We actually had a situation where we were just trying to get vendors and stuff for our Fall Fest a couple of years ago, and there was someone who owned a photo booth company, and she was very closely connected to Children's National. So really, we didn't even know that, and we just discovered it like as we were researching for our event. And so I think really trying to find partnerships like that and companies that are willing to donate because they also resonate with the cause. And additionally, like, as we recruit more participants, I know going beyond students, but also just, everyone has a kind of a limited number of people that they really know in their network, but building those networks and giving students tools of how to reach out to more people and maybe businesses that they might know could really help us expand.
Absolutely. In addition to that, we also provide our students with the opportunity of local canning events, and we do this throughout the community. So if they don't have that resource, because we understand not everybody has that network of members who are able to donate and they aren't in those situations. So using that College Park community and past that, because there are those community members who are directly affected, because as we stated, this hospital is just 7 miles away, and additionally having those outpatient clinics.
I didn't get a chance to ask my question, so I do want to get it in. As you think about what you're doing, because there are children's there are children's hospitals literally across the country. How are you benchmarking what you're doing against the fundraisers that are happening for other children's hospitals?
So we're part of the larger network of dance marathon programs, and so we have specific advisors that work with regions of dance marathon programs, and they kind of give us best practices from other universities, and they also give us a glimpse into how they're fundraising, the amounts that they are fundraising. And we also have a conference, it was known as Ignite this past year, that all of our leadership goes to each summer to really get ideas from other programs and to see what is working best for them.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, the UMD chapter of the Food Recovery Network.
Last year, in the DMV, 1.5 million individuals experienced food insecurity, and at the University of Maryland campus alone, 27% of students reported food insecurity. This is a crippling epidemic, and we believe that access to healthy and nutritious meals is a basic human right. Families, especially students and children, should not have to think about where their next meal will come from or if they will even have a next meal. Hi, my name is Sophia.
My name is Kyle, and we have both been involved in the Food Recovery Network UMD chapter for the last 2.5 years.
When our founders saw the immense amount of food being thrown away by UMD's dining halls in 2011, they decided to take action. They did this by recovering surplus food out of South Campus Dining Hall. And now, 14 years later, we have organized food recoveries at 3 on-campus dining halls, 2 UMD athletic stadiums, UMD Hillel, and the Stamp Catering Kitchen. Since Food Recovery Network's inception at the University of Maryland, Food Recovery Network has grown to become a national organization with over 200 chapters across the nation. The UMD chapter remains one of the top performing chapters in terms of both growth and amount of food recovered. In a collection and donation process entirely organized and ran by student volunteers 4 to 6 nights per week recover surplus food, which is then driven to our main partner organization, the Christian Life Center. The food is then taken and further distributed to the surrounding Maryland and DC community. 2 times per week, ready-made meals are individually packaged by student volunteers for the UMD campus pantry, which directly aids the UMD food insecure population. We also donate trays of food to Flame, a student organization centered around tutoring middle schoolers at a Title I school. Flame provides these students with after-school meals which they would otherwise not have access to.
Now, let's talk about some statistics. So in 2024, we had an organized effort of over 200 UMD volunteers. We worked with over 15 student organizations, resulting in over 3,000 service hours. This effort resulted in the collection of over 28,000 pounds of food, or 23,000 meals, from our 7 on-campus donors. Food Recovery Network also reduces the environmental impact that food waste has. In 2024, we successfully reduced over almost 20 tons of carbon dioxide emissions from entering the atmosphere. See, food waste that isn't composted or diverted instead gets taken to the landfill, where it's broken down and produces toxic greenhouse gases. Not only that, but food waste process management and reduction is an extremely water-intense process. And by saving food in 2024, we were able to reduce almost 3.3 million gallons of water being used, the equivalent of 5 Olympic-sized swimming pools. As you can see, 2024 was a huge year of growth for us, and it was one of our best performing years yet. We saw that there was more that could be done for our community, and that's what we did by successfully partnering with organizations such as the UMD Campus Pantry, UMD Flame, as well as exponentially increasing our food collection efforts. Since 2018, we have successfully recovered over 130,000 meals from our on-campus donors. We've reduced over 100 metric tons of CO2 emissions and have saved over 18.4 million gallons of water, the equivalent of 28 Olympic-sized swimming pools. With a $10,000 do-good investment, we can do even more. Every night, we have countless volunteers who are eager and excited to get involved with this process. And we've gotten to the point that we have more volunteers than jobs to do. And that's why our next goal is to expand our partnerships as well as our operations even farther. See, currently it costs us about $3 at our dining halls in order to make one meal. With a $10,000 do-good investment, we can make an additional 8,000 meals from our new partnerships in the next year, as well as increase the number of individual meals that we make with the campus pantry up to a total of 3,000, directly benefiting our UMD population. We also plan to get food recovery implemented into every single on-campus event, collaborate with even more student organizations, and expand beyond our local campus and get involved with local restaurants and grocery stores. Finally, we plan to give back to our student volunteers by implementing a mileage and gas reimbursement plan. In an agreement we previously had with DOTS, they would provide us with a van as well as a driver in order to transport food from our kitchens to the church, ensuring that we had a way to move our food. With the do-good investment, we can reestablish this partnership and ensure that every single night that we are collecting, we have a way to take our food and get it distributed. With your help and with the do-good investment, we can take what was started here in 2011 and turn UMD into an epicenter of food security, sustainability, and student involvement. Thank you.
You're talking about one of my favorite topics. Food. As a lifelong member of the Clean Plate Club, I really love what you all are doing, which is very obvious. Let's talk a little bit more about the driver reimbursement, $200, and help me understand that. How long is that for? That was a really small number on your pie chart there.
Yeah, and thank you. This is also one of my favorite topics. This number is very much dependent on the amount of investment that we're able to get, because that directly correlates with the amount of collaboration that we're having with DOTS. So the idea is, with the money that we get and the money that we're able to put towards DOT drivers, we will be able to use the rest of the money in order to pay our student drivers for movement of food between different events and between our different stadiums, as opposed to routinely onto like our everyday diners. So in that way, we're still able to provide a set amount that really much depends on how much we get, but we aim at between $1 and $5 per night per student.
Thank you so much for bringing up the great statistics that you started with, just framing it for us here in the region of 1.5 million individuals who are experiencing food insecurity and 27% of UMD students. Given where we are as a country, and we're hearing some of the public policy mandates that are coming forth, especially when we think about this region now being deeply impacted economically, do you expect those numbers to increase?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I do think that those numbers could potentially increase, especially with the policies that we're seeing that are being put out. So what we plan to do is actually partner with the athletic dining hall on our campus next semester with your Do Good investment. And this will allow us to recover even more food, recover even more meals to provide for the community. There's always need in this area especially, and I think with the Do Good investment, we're able to reach more of those numbers even if they're ever increasing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. This is such an important issue, and I agree that it'll be increasing. My question for you is the Christian Life Center, is such an important partner for this project. Have you reached capacity there? Are you going to need new partners to help continue and expand and potentially have two drivers or two vans? What does that look like, especially as needs increase, most likely moving forward?
Yeah, so with the Christian Life Center, they actually partner with around 8 other programs that will come to their site and pick up food from them. And then the Christian Life Center will also utilize the meals for themselves as well and their community. I think with the expansion, we are looking into finding an additional partner, but we have partnered many years ago with other like homeless shelters, soup kitchens, that I think we can reignite those partnerships as well.
I would also add to that the Christian Life Center has also made it clear to us that they have not even come close to reaching capacity, and they are fully moving the entire stock that we bring them every single night. And then that includes they're not collecting over the weekend. So they are fully moving everything that we have, and with expansion, they'll still be able to handle all that produce.
I'm intrigued by the environmental impact that you shared in terms of the CO2 emissions as well as the savings, if you will, in terms of water. How are you calculating that?
So for that, we just use an online converter. So we have the stats of how many pounds we are recovering daily. We have that total since 2018. So then we just put that into like a statistic converter, and that's how we got our numbers.
I have one clarifying question as I see the clock winding down.
It's on you this time.
Yeah. You were saying that a quarter of students have food insecurity, which is a jarring number. But then I was hearing the model is taking the food off campus to Christian Life Center or something else. Am I missing the disconnect here? Is there food distribution with students on campus, or how are you kind of prioritizing and dispersing that?
No, you're very much not missing something, and that's one of the reasons that we've spearheaded this program with the South Campus Student Pantry. So within the last year, when we had our partnership with the UMD Pantry, the way it works is along with our regular food collections, we were having little individual meals created at South Campus Diner, and those are directly given out from the UMD Pantry to UMD students. So this is a new initiative that was started at the beginning of the year, or beginning of last year at this point. And at this point, we're trying to really ramp that up because we agree that we should also be really much addressing where our roots are coming from our campus.
You're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, we've heard some impressive pitches tonight. Let's give our Leaders Track judges and finalists another round of applause. Okay, judges. Oh, you know your cue. It's time to head to the deliberation room and decide on who is going to get first, second, and third place in the Leaders Track. A little later during our voting window, you'll get the chance to vote for which finalist team will receive the $2,500 Audience Choice Award and which semifinalist team giving a lightning pitch will receive $1,000 for their impact. In a moment, you'll hear from those semifinalist teams, Hungry for Change and Terp Think Tank. But real quick, before we bring out our lightning teams, we'll watch our final video of the evening highlighting 2022 Challenge finalist Get Over It.
No student should have to choose between their health and their education, period. This started as a class project in a course called Do Good Now.
And in that class, we were tasked to get into a group and solve an issue on campus.
We found ourselves talking about how we could all relate to getting our period and having to miss work or class, and we decided that we wanted to try to find a way to make sure that no student would really have to deal with that at our university. To do that, we focused on putting free and accessible menstrual products in bathrooms at the University of Maryland. We used a lot of our own personal social medias, really trying to do anything we can to build noise and get people excited about our cause. The most exciting part was when the Washington Post's The Lily reached out to us.
It kind of was like proof that a class project was really turning into something more than just a class project.
One thing that we did is apply for the Student Facilities Fund grant. We already had all of our data and research that we formatted in the class.
And they gave us money to fund 25 different bathrooms along campus. Seeing the dispenser the first time in a bathroom, that was the moment. I was like, this can happen on campus.
There are 400 free menstrual product dispensers in 100 buildings on our college campus.
What started as a class project turned into a real passion project for us.
Hopefully, we can inspire future change makers to do it in their own school.
Welcome to the stage, Hungry for Change.
Hi, I'm Grace Kim, a graduate student here at the University of Maryland and the Vice President for Hungry for Change. We started as a student-led capstone project here at UMD in 2018, and today we are a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to uplifting communities at risk of homelessness through on-the-ground outreach and increasing access to critical resources like housing, food, healthcare, and employment. We have 60 active volunteers who provide personalized case management, helping families apply for SNAP and secure affordable housing. These 60 volunteers build partnerships with local government, work with community partners, canvass door-to-door, and maintain our directory of over 600 vetted community organizations, which has been especially valuable for undocumented residents. To date, Hungry for Change has raised over $36,000, half of that from Montgomery County government. We have supported more than 200 households since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, reaching over 800 individuals. Our project in Montgomery County, Hungry to Help, has proven that our data-driven, personalized approach in helping people and families meet them where they are in terms of support, building trust, and connecting them with life-changing services. At one event, we met Mr. C, a new community member. He needed short-term immediate needs such as food banks, so that's where we connected him. And we also connected him to another nonprofit for urgent legal assistance. Today, Mr. C navigates safety net services independently and remains in touch with our team, just one of many clients living a better life due to the connections we made. Now, we're ready to expand this proven model to Prince George's County, where the need is just as dire. This isn't just about funding, it's about investing in the future of our communities. If we are awarded $1,000 tonight, it will go directly into our emergency assistance fund for rent and utilities, because for the families that we serve, that sort of support can mean everything. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the stage, Terp Think Tank.
Prince George's County, the largest minority-majority county in our nation, is ranked in the bottom 50% of Maryland counties when it comes to the overall health of its residents. My name is Ethan Adler, and I'm the co-director of the Terp Think Tank, the University of Maryland's first student-led policy incubator focused on improving the health of our local community through policy advocacy and development. We are partnered directly with the Prince George's County Health Department to identify health challenges and design community-centered policy solutions to these challenges. Every year, the Terrapin Think Tank recruits a new cohort of fellows who take a one-credit course on weekly lessons of policy research and advocacy while developing their own individual policy proposals on a public health topic of interest. We currently have 19 active members with a total of 25 research projects. But our students need help. So often, our fellows' ideas are stuck, frozen in the design phase, with nowhere to go because we do not have the resources to support implementation. This is where you come in. With the addition of grant funding, we hope to implement a stipend program to fund current and future student projects and expand our capacity to do good. To prove this model can be successful, let us give you an example of how we have previously turned grant money into action. Working with the Hyattsville Branch Library, we supplied them with free menstrual products to patrons in the restroom and comfort room as part of a pilot program addressing menstrual equity, ultimately connecting them with Femly, an eco-friendly menstrual product organization, to work towards a long-term product supply plan. This is the model in action. The Terrapin Think Tank is the catalyst, simply jump-starting these ideas to show the community that they are important issues. This model would carry over to help many of our current projects, both from TTT and our current fellows. Our Youth Mental Health Initiative would be enabled to host group discussions and educational sessions at PG middle schools. One fellow's air quality project would have more resources to test out higher quality air filters in schools around the county. More, Terrapin Think Tank has strived to address issues in transportation equity to get to federally qualified health centers, to develop a framework for placing community health workers, and creating a health literacy curriculum for current residents and policymakers. While the range of interest is broad, they are all united by one thing: passionate Maryland students who are using policy to amplify the voices of our local community and positively impact the world around us. With your help, we can bring our ideas to reality. Thank you for your time.
Let's give a round of applause for our amazing Lightning Pitch team. Good evening. My name is Keisha McNeil, and I'm the manager of the Do-Good Accelerator. Let's have a little fun while our judges finish up their deliberations in the back. I'm going to ask 4 Do-Good students to come on stage to go head-to-head in a trivia game about the Do-Good community. Each contestant will answer 5 trivia questions, and for participating, each contestant will take home a Do-Good swag bag. Now, don't be shy out there in the audience. You are their lifeline, so I need you to help them out, help them win by shouting out the right answer, because if you've been listening tonight, you've already heard the answers. So let's meet our contestants. I'll ask each of you to introduce yourself and then pass the mic down.
Hello everyone, my name's Gurleen and I am a mentor at Changemakers Pathway in Do Good Institute.
Hello everybody, my name is Denonta McKinney and I'm a fellow at the Do Good Accelerator through my initiative, Advanced GPT. Enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, my name is Parsa. I'm a junior at the university. I'm part of Do Good through the mini grant through my organization, Hack for Impact.
Hello everybody, my name is Zach Buster and I am a Master of Public Policy candidate and I'm also studying sociology here at the University of Maryland. I'm a Frederick Douglass Scholar and a Rawlings Fellow and I'm also a graduate of the Impact Bootcamp.
Thank you, contestants. Now that we know who you are and how you do good, let's test your knowledge with some Do Good trivia. I'll ask a question and give you 5 seconds to select your answer. Once those 5 seconds are up, I'll ask you to show us your answer. Are you ready? Okay, audience, are you ready? I want y'all to shout louder like you shouted those video games at home. There we go. Okay, question number 1. How much money has Camp Kesem raised since being founded in 2018? A, over $100,000, B, over $200,000, C, over $300,000, or D, over $400,000. I'll give you 5 seconds to think it over. Audience, you're the lifeline. Shout out those answers. Okay. Let's see your answers. The answer is D, $400,000. Good job, y'all were paying attention. Okay, and now on to the second question. Do Good facilitated more than 100 classroom workshops across campus, engaging how many mostly first-year students in interactive lessons about how to start making an impact? A, more than 3,000, B, more than 2,500, C, more than 2,000, or D, more than 1,500. You have 5 seconds on the clock. Shout out your answers. What did y'all hear? I can't hear you. Okay, let's see your answers. Good job. A, more than 3,000. Question number 3. How many buildings on our campus carry free menstrual product dispensers thanks to the work of Get Over It? How many total dispensers have been installed? A, 50 buildings, 200 dispensers. B, 100 buildings and 400 dispensers. C, 75 buildings and 150 dispensers. Or D, 25 buildings and 100 dispensers. Okay, let's see your answers. B, 100 buildings and 400 dispensers. Good job, good job. Question number 4. The Do-Good Plaza, along with the new stories in our Student Change the World exhibit at Thurgood Marshall Hall, have already been visited by over how many people through campus tours? A, over 27,000, B, over 13,000, C, over 21,000, or D, over 9,000. Let's hear answers. Let's see your answers. A, that's right, over 27,000. And now for your final question. Question number 5. How many Terps will be placed with social impact organizations this summer for paid internships? A, 50, B, 25, C, 100, or D, 75? Let's see your answers. C, that's right, 100 Terps in internships paid this summer. And that wraps up our Do Good trivia questions. Let's give these incredible students another big round of applause. And thank you, audience. Y'all are awesome. Thank you. You'll get your swag bags. Yeah, you get your swag bags. That's right. Tonight, you've heard a lot of impressive impact from an incredible group of students. And now it's time for you to weigh in and vote for your favorite finalist team and your favorite lightning pitch team to win prize money. First up is our Finalist Audience Choice Award. The winner of this award will take home $2,500 tonight. On the screen will be the text to vote information. We'll give you a minute to think it over and cast your vote. Okay, time's up. Next up is our Lightning Pitch Audience Choice Award. The winner of this award will take home $1,000 tonight. Remember, Lightning Team number 1 was Hungry for Change, and Lightning Team number 2 was Terrapin Think Tank. On the screen will be the text-to-vote information, and you only get 1 vote, so make it count. All right, time's up. We'll share the results of each vote momentarily. Okay, the time has now come. We're ready to start announcing the winners of the 2025 Do Good Challenge. I'd like to ask our judges, finalists, and Lightning Pitch teams to come back on stage along with President Pines, Dean Orr, and Bob Grimm. What a truly incredible evening this has been, and thank you all for being here and showing support for these incredible chance takers and difference makers. Congratulations to all of our teams. You all are winners. Now, without further ado, we've tallied your votes, and we have the winners for the Audience Choice Awards ready. First up, I'm pleased to share that the winner of the $1,000 Lightning Audience Choice Award is Terp Think Tank. Congratulations. That means the runner-up to our Lightning Audience Choice Award is Hungry for Change, taking home the $750 prize. Congratulations. We can't wait to see, oh, I didn't know you were handing that. We can't wait to see all the incredible things you continue to achieve. Next up is our finalist Audience Choice Award. This team will be taking home an additional $2,500 tonight. Can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you. Congratulations to Dare to Dream. Let's give a big round of applause for all of our Audience Choice Award winners. And now, to announce the winners in the Founders Track, I'd like to welcome Sagar Doshi.
Awesome. You know, I used to think when I was a student, it was much harder to pitch. I think after being a judge, it is much harder to judge. These are some really, really great organizations. I'll be announcing the Founders Track winners, and we'll start with our third place team. Congratulations to the Movement Street. We thought you did a great job reaching lots of different volunteers from different backgrounds, and we ask that you think about the value prop of your organization in your philanthropic journey. And now our second place winner in the Founders Track is Dare to Dream. We thought you did a great job highlighting real examples of students that are looking to scale their impact, and we ask that you think about the long-term impact of going from a micro impact to more of a macro impact. And that makes our first place winner in the Founders Track, Black Stars Wellness Initiative. We recognize the difficult infrastructure and cultural barriers to your issue, and the fact that you're working with local volunteers is absolutely amazing. And we ask that you continue to think about scale via partnerships to establish more training centers. And now, yep. And now, I'd like to welcome Khalil Kettering to the podium to announce the winners of the Leaders Track. Thank you.
Thanks, Sagar, and I echo what you said, and I think two themes that really came out through all these presentations tonight is the importance of doing good can mean many different things to different people, but two key ingredients are courage, the temerity to try and tackle something that is a big challenge in society, and community. That really takes a lot of people coming together, and I think those two things are incredibly important now more than ever, and so I'm so grateful and honored to be up here with all these amazing presentations. And so with that, on the Leaders Track, our third place team is Bitcamp. We really thought it's amazing and addressing this challenge that's very pertinent of getting people more comfortable with technology, breaking barriers is a good thing. And we advise you to think a little bit about marketing and communications on why this is so important to people and the long-term outcomes as the organization continues to grow. And now in second place, we have Terp Thon. The multiplier of your success is amazing, and you've raised $2.5 million over the years. That's had a real impact to help people. And we encourage you to think a little bit about what are some opportunities to innovate and evaluate with your current model and expand your network for fundraising. And so, of course, in first place of the leaders track, the Food Recovery Network. What we love about this, you're meeting a need, a really tangible need, a need that's going to be growing in the future, and it's familiar to everybody. The environmental impact, also a great multiplier of what you can do with this. And think a little bit more about how you can innovate and bring more students into the fold here, and let's really address the 27% of students on campus that have food insecurity. Thank you. And with that, I hand it over to Bob Gritt.
All right, my friends, and with that, this concludes our 2025 Do Good Challenge. All right, let's give one more round of applause for all our fabulous students. And now let's go out and do more good.